Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, students in London are feeling the shockwaves from the Queen's burial.
And gas prices are ticking up for the first time in months. All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning, I'm Micah Prine Goldstein. Thanks for joining us for Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Jayla Pettis. Here's a look at some of the stories we'll be talking about this half hour.
If you've been paying attention to the news lately, you've heard that the Queen of England was laid to rest this week.
What you may not be aware of is a number of our students are abroad in England right now. Mornings on the Hill reporter Elena Lucido spoke with the coordinator from London this morning and joins us now with the latest. Elena?
There's a 5-hour time difference between London and the U.S., but this morning I spoke with Becca Farnham. She runs the London office for SU Abroad, and she works with many of the students studying overseas. She was already up and at work this morning when I spoke with her. She said that this past week has been a teachable moment for staff and a memorable moment for students.
I have 159 Syracuse students here studying abroad for the fall 22 semester. And they were just getting to know the UK, just getting to know their flats, all this kind of thing. And now London goes into this massive period of mourning and everything changes. You've really got emotions that are absolutely kind of spanning the entire spectrum from I just lost someone who felt like my grandmother to a vestige of colonialism has just died. And are we going to keep going, or are we going to have a reconciliation? I think a lot of the students are still wrestling with kind of how they feel about it personally, right? A lot of us Americans are like, oh yeah, the Queen, right? And kind of having that personal relationship, as they're also aware of, lucky may not be the right word, but what timing in terms of being able to be here and see the UK go through this. Certainly a powerful learning moment for them. And I do think in, a few decades, it might be one of those questions, where were you when the Queen died? And they get to say in London, and I saw it all play out.
By the way, if you have any interest in studying abroad, SU has many options. You can travel anywhere from London, where Becca is, to Madrid, Florence, and more. You can visit their website at suabroad.soir.edu. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Elena Lucido.
Thank you, Elena. If you own a car, you may want to head to the gas station today. That's because gas prices are heading back up. For the first time since summer started, gas prices are on the rise. This comes after 3 straight months of falling prices.
At one point, many of us were paying more than $4 per gallon at the pump. Those prices fell through the summer months, and in some parts of the country, we're paying less than $3 a gallon. Locally, you can find gas prices at their lowest point north of Syracuse. Around campus, you can expect to pay about $3.80 for a gallon of gas. Jayla, I have to say, it's been a pretty rainy week, and it was pretty windy walking here to the studio this morning. How did you feel?
I felt really good. The weather was cool, it was a breeze, and I can definitely tell that fall is in the air.
Certainly. Today is the last day of summer, and on that note, I'm going to throw it now to our Mornings on the Hill reporter in studio, Zach Richter. Zach.
Good morning, Micah and Jayla. Yeah, it was a little chilly this morning. We actually were in the high 50s this morning when I woke up around 6 a.m. this morning. But right now we take a look outside. It's 68 degrees and it feels like 68 because there's no real winds in our area right now. And the dew point is sitting at 58. And also another interesting thing, the humidity right now, that's at 78%. We woke up this morning, the humidity was really high. It was actually above 90%, but now it's making its way down. So I'll have more on the 5-day forecast and how temperatures will go up this afternoon in just a bit. But right now, Micah, Jayla, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you, Zach. This week marks the opening for Hispanic Heritage Month. Syracuse University is putting on many events and celebrations for students.
Mornings on the
Month
Hill
began September
reporter
15th and will last until October 15th. The university has already
more on how we can get involved and celebrate. Isabel?
Students to get what their views were on the efforts taken to put these events on.
As we navigate Hispanic Heritage Month, the Office of Multicultural Affairs is rolling out new events to celebrate. Here's what some students had to say.
Some of the goals for the events in the Office of Multicultural Affairs for Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month is to allow students of color to come into contact with their roots and other students and be able to bond over these events and also learn how to keep their roots alive on campus, especially being at a predominantly white institution. It's important to have these events in order for students to have a sense of belonging and feel at home, and also have a safe space on campus where they can go to and not just feel like they don't belong because of their identity.
I think it's so important that we have events happening to embrace Latinx individuals here at Syracuse University. As a Puerto Rican woman, my major fear was that I was going to come on campus and not get any representation. But with these amazing events going on, I feel represented and I feel like I'm being heard, and I'm having people who I can confide in and I can relate to. So it's really amazing and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
We would like to see more advertising around Hispanic heritage. Not many people know about it, and unless you read like the school's email blast, you wouldn't know about it. I like the activities that are around it, and I think so many other students that are not Hispanic would also enjoy them and would get to partake in the culture, so I think that would be a great idea.
I also think it's very important that the rest of the student body learns, like as Mariana said, about our culture, and they can just immerse themselves in how we grew up. And I just think it'd be a lot of fun for everybody to come together and learn about our culture.
To get more information about Hispanic Heritage Month events, the Multicultural Affairs Office is located in the Shine Center, Suite 132.
Some Hispanic Heritage Month events include a coffee day, an I Am Soccer League match, and a Fiesta Latina, also known as Latinx Party. If you want to learn more information, you can go to the Shine Center to visit the Multicultural Affairs Office, and that suite number is 132. I'm reporting live from College Place. I'm Isabel Flores with Mornings on the Hill.
Thank you, Isabel. This Sunday, the hip hop and jazz group Warp Trio will join us in Syracuse for a special performance. The group aims to bring Black voices to music and globalize the industry where they saw a void.
Warp Trio will join 3 other Syracuse musicians for their performance. They'll be in Hendricks Chapel this Sunday at 4. They'll also be speaking to students in the Setner School of Music throughout the week.
The 30th West Scott Street Cultural Fair is taking place this Sunday. The fair is an annual celebration of the West Scott neighborhood through its culture, arts, food, and activities. Diversity and uniqueness will be displayed through a parade starting at noon on West Scott Street from Concord to Dale, and entertainment to follow from 12:30 to 6:30 at night.
And at the Cultural Fair, the Misfits Market will be hosting dozens of vintage and local vendors. They'll have everything from clothing and embroidery to crystals. The market is put on by Beat Nook and was founded by curators Erin Morrow and Heather Binion. Binion says the market brings something new to the fair.
Been the Beat Nook for about 2 years. We started hosting markets because we felt there was a void in the area of really curated markets with a mix of local artisans and vintage vendors.
And this is the 3rd market they've hosted. Binion says they handpick all their vendors so they can pick the best and most diverse group they can.
And it's really cool because a lot of our vendors are LGBTQ, women-owned, minority-owned, so we really showcase that as well. So it really fits in line with the West Scott Street Cultural Fair, but brings something that they don't have at
The market will be during the same hours of the Cultural Fair or noon to 6 on Sunday.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse University's men's soccer made big waves against Clemson this weekend. We'll have more in just a few minutes. Welcome back. Mornings on the Hill. This afternoon, the SU campus is in for an alarming noise. Mornings on the Hill reporter Sammy St. Jean has the scoop on what DPS has planned to keep the university safe.
That's all I had to say.
If you're a freshman or a grad student, then 1240 might bring quite a bit of confusion. There's going to be an emergency alarm blaring all across campus, and if you're a new student, it's important you understand what it's for. This alarm system is a part of the Orange Alert system. DPS has this system in place for an ongoing threat to campus. What that means is they need to reach you as fast as possible. This test will be conducted in order to accomplish 3 things. The first being that DPS is able to make sure their technology works. This also provides them an opportunity for the staff to get trained. When responsible for 25,000 people, that kind of task can be very daunting, so a trial run is as important for the DPS staff as it is for the students. The final reason is to make sure everyone is connected to the system. The alarms are just step 1 of how DPS will try to reach you. You will also receive an email, get notified by phone, and receive a text message. By reaching out to you in all of these forms, DPS makes sure they accommodate for any disability or circumstance that someone on campus may have. Now, if you do not get notified by any of these forms, you are going to want to update your Orange Alert contact information. To do this, go to your MySlice, log in, and then select your student or employee home, depending on your relation to Syracuse University. Then, under Personal Profile, you will see the Orange Alert Contacts, and it is here you will be able to add, edit, or delete contact information. It is important to note that in the case of an actual emergency, aside from just being notified, you will be given the proper course of action to act for that given emergency. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Sammy St. Jean.
Thank you, Sammy. Time to check in on today's weather.
Our Zach Richter is live in studio to tell us what to expect. Zach.
Yeah, thanks, Micah and Jayla. Right now, the high today is 82 degrees, so we're at 67 degrees right now, but the temperatures are really going to warm up this afternoon. We're going to see over a 10-degree warm up later today. The low is 59, and our average high is 71, and our average low is 51 degrees. Now, moving to our day planner for today. This morning, it was 68 degrees, and that's kind of where we're at right now. The participation, 50%. It's just clear out there, really, and the sun will continue to come out throughout the day as we're going to go up to 80 degrees this afternoon. And then we're going to see thunderstorms tonight with a 68% chance of rain. It's going to be heavy, heavy rain continuing to the night as we drop down to 64. Moving into our hourly forecast here. It's going to be 80 degrees around 5 o'clock, and look at this trend. It's going to go all the way up and then go all the way back down to 58 overnight. It's going to be a chilly one, and you look at the next 48 hours, it's really going to get down. As you look on Thursday, 49 degrees as we get into the high 40s later this week. Now turning to our 5-day forecast here. Today, high of 82, and that's going to be one of the last days we're going to see in the 80s for a long time. As tomorrow, the high is only going to be 61 with some rain. Not going to be a really nice day out there. Friday, it's going to be 55 and sunny though, but a low of 44. Saturday, 63, and Sunday, 64 as the rain returns. That's all I have for weather right now. Micah, Jayla, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you, Zach. School is in full swing, and some of us may be missing our furry friends. With that said, a program on campus is providing the pet love we need. Our Mornings on the Hill reporter, Maddie Mushkin, is outside Barnes Center to tell us the inspiration behind this pet therapy program. Maddie?
Thanks, guys. In a little under 2 hours, the pets will be arriving here at the Barnes Center. The pet therapy programs are really great, and they also bring in local partners, including the Pet Partners of Central New York. I got to talk to Mary Gilbert, who is one of the program team leaders here at SU, and she says that these programs make a huge impact, especially for college students.
People just light up. We've had students cry, happy cry, but particularly on college campuses, because they're away from their own pets a lot of times for the very first time. But luckily at the Barnes Center, we're there every week. And, you know, people can count on it and they can look forward to that and they can kind of build that into their schedule if that's something that they really, really want. And they get to bond with, you know, you're there are other people on campus and you get to meet other people on campus. It helps people realize how much we all really do have in common. And it's a really nice bonding experience for a lot of the students.
Pet Partners of Central New York is really excited to be back on campus and sharing their therapy dogs with the students. And while the pandemic impacted the students, the dogs also felt the stress and missed out on their weekly hangouts at the Barnes Center.
It was a very difficult time for it was hard on our pets too, to tell you the truth. They loved the attention, and to all of a sudden be home with me all the time is kind of lonely for them. They love going, they truly do.
I'm so excited.
You have the two dogs in the second one? Yeah, they're all laughing at it.
And coming up, we will be taking a look at the exciting plays and finishes after the break. Don't go anywhere. Good morning, I'm Michael Villegas with your Orange Sports Update here on Mornings on the Hill. Let's start with highlights from this past weekend. Women's field hockey came away with not one but two wins. On Friday, they made a statement versus 18th ranked Duke and won 5-1, and added another win on Sunday versus Hofstra with a final score of 1-0. Women's soccer lost Friday night with a nail-biter against third-ranked Duke. The women held on all game until the 88th minute when Duke's Maggie Graham came away with a score off a corner kick to seal the victory for the Blue Devils. Moving over to men's soccer, they shut out Colgate last night, but our Sydney Staples is in the studio to tell you about their historic win on Saturday.
Syracuse men's soccer is now ranked third in the country after taking down previously #1 ranked Clemson 2-1 on Saturday. The Tigers scored first in the 8th minute, but it was all cues from then on. After junior Giorgio Krzyzewski's goal that senior Levante Johnson assisted, Johnson scored a goal of his own, the winning one. He started the second half with a one-on-one matchup in front of frame that he ultimately finished to secure the lead. Redshirt senior Russell Shealy made 2 big saves to follow and matched his career high with 6 on the night. The win is Syracuse's second in a row over the Tigers and first win over a #1 ranked opponent since 2018. The Orange snapped Clemson's 11-match winning streak that dated back to November of last year. Johnson received Atlantic Coast Conference Offensive Player of the Week, and Shealy won ACC Defensive Player of the Week. This is the first time the Orange swept the weekly awards. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Sydney. Another huge win this weekend for the Orange came on the gridiron. The football team put on an absolute show and a finish that will be the talk of the town for a while. Before we get there, let's see some key plays in the fourth quarter that led to the exciting finish. On an important 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, the offense makes a surprising call and opts for a pass, but it pays off big time as Schrader finds Aronde Gatson for a 46-yard touchdown. On this next play, Aiden drops back and is immediately pressured. Tries to throw away, but Caleb Okechukwu is in the right place at the right time, takes it back for a pick 6 that would push the lead to 3. Purdue would also score a touchdown of their own, but that would lead to the play of the game. Down by 4 with 12 seconds left in the game, Schrader drops back with ice in his veins and takes a shot that delivers a perfect ball to Gatson yet again, this time to seal the victory and come out on top with a final score of 29-32 for the Orange. Orange have another tough matchup under Friday Night Lights in the Dome this weekend versus Virginia starting at 7. That's it for your sports here on Mornings on the Hill.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, the International Film Festival occurred for the first time since COVID.
That story and more just ahead. Stay right with us.
The Toronto International Film Festival came to an end on Sunday, September 21st. I'm here today to talk about my experience going to the film festival this year. The Toronto International Film Festival is fully back in person after the COVID-19 pandemic. It was very exciting to be in Toronto for the International Film Festival, especially since it was my first time going to Canada. The Arts, Journalism, and Communications Master's Program at Syracuse University had the privilege to go to the Toronto International Film Festival. The film festival ran from September 8th through September 18th. I had the privilege to go to the film festival between the dates of September 9th and September 11th. At the film festival, I got to see many world premieres, talkbacks, and Q&As with cast and crew of certain movies. Some movie highlights for me were Casa Susanna, Sisu, Bros, Cine Gorillas, The End of Sex, The Blackening, and Sydney. Sydney was extra special because Oprah Winfrey came out to talk to Sidney Poitier's daughters right live on stage. And that was by far a big highlight. Piper Starnes is another arts, journalism, and communications major here at Syracuse University. One of her biggest highlights was able to see Glass Onion, which is the sequel to the hit movie Knives Out.
And it was really cool because my classmate and I, we weren't expecting to see the cast come on after the screening, and it was really cool to hear from the director, Ryan Johnson, as well as the full cast.
For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Jeremy Lynch.
That is going to do it for us on Mornings in the Hill. But before we get to that, Jeremy, you obviously saw a lot of cool things at the Toronto International Film Festival. What I want to know is, what was your favorite film that you saw?
My favorite movie would definitely have to be Bros. Anyone who knows me, I always talk about that movie just because it was such a highlight, because it was the perfect mixture of comedy, but also appealed to your emotions as well.
Sounds amazing.
Emotions as well. It was a fantastic film.
And Jeremy, can you tell us a little bit about the poutine?
Oh, the poutine. The poutine was delicious. It's basically fries, cheese curds, and gravy.
Okay, thank you.
That's going to do it for us today on Mornings in the Hill. I'm Micah Prine Goldstein. Make sure to follow us on social media.
I'm Jayla Pettis. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Tuesday and Friday live at 10 a.m. right here on Orange TV Network.